Maura, Ohio State, one of the hotter teams in the league right now. What has stood out to you about them this season that's allowed them to take this jump that they have?
Yeah, good goaltending starts there. They've had that for a few years, and some really good offensive punch up front now. And they're playing with a lot of confidence. You watch the game film. They hunt pucks down. They attack hands. They turn over pucks. They play with speed. They're doing a lot of things well.
Offensively, what does your team need to do to maybe kind of jumpstart things a little more and get more chances?
We're getting the chances. We have 44 shots on Saturday, but I think we could take better quality shots, get to the middle of the ice, not just have a one shot, goalie smothers it, plays over, one shot, goalie kicks it to the corner, it's going the other way. Mm-hmm. We want to sustain some pressure and working on some things this week to get better at that.
You mentioned goalies smothering that first chance, the kicking it to the corner. Are there things the players can do so that the goalie can't make those plays? Is it putting, like you said, better quality shots on net, maybe better puck placement? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, when you're playing from behind, sometimes you grip the stick a little too tightly, and just taking an extra second, trying to find that spot, making it more challenging for the goalie, and not settling for outside shots. I'd like to see us get to the middle a little bit more, use some of our strength, drive to the middle, because teams in our league are really good and they want to clog up the slot area, but we can't be afraid to dig in and get in there. And we need to have bodies at the net so that when there are rebounds, we're ready to bury them, and we're ready to take a hit too, because it's physical in there and you have to be willing to pay the price to score a nice goal. What
is the key to when a team, we saw the men basis last night at Cato, a team that clogs it into the middle there? Is it just sending body after body to try and break that up? Is it a puck possession thing, a combination?
It's frustrating. I think a lot of it's mental because you have the ability to possess. They'll give you the perimeter. They'll give you the outside. So you feel like you're wheeling and dealing and you have all this puck possession time, but how do you break through that when they're willing to block shots and sacrifice the body and give you a body too when you go in there? And I think it's movement, it's takeover plays where you're switching, trying to trip them up a little bit, because they do puck watch when they're tight like that, and there are opportunities, but they have to happen quickly. A change of direction. So if you're behind the net and you're going to punch a puck to the D needs to get it and rip it right away, not take a few handles, not try to get to the middle of the ice, things like that. So but it's frustrating, and it takes some mental toughness to stick with it and just understand that the goals will come. You just have to be a little more deceptive.
Teams like that tend to also pounce on the littlest mistake that's made when you're possessing the puck, and they go the other way quickly in transition. How do you while you're trying to generate that possession, wear down a defense, how do you also guard against that, making sure that you're taking care of the other end of the rink?
Yeah, exactly. You still have to have F3 high in the zone. If a D's going to jump down low, somebody needs to replace that defenseman, because that's exactly what they're looking for. They're kind of just waiting for their opportunity, poke check, and then they're going on an odd man rush. So I think while you're possessing, you can't get too it's not arrogant, but too comfortable while you have that puck, and you got to make sure, I think, that you have a forward high ready to come back and squash that odd man situation.
That was a huge factor.
Is the feeling, really looking at the rest of the schedule and where you are in terms of getting home ice in WCHA? I mean, this weekend seems like a pretty critical one to take, at least 3 points, hopefully 6 from an Ohio State team to kind of get yourself back in reaching, in striking distance of Bemidji.
Yeah, huge weekend. They all are, and this is a great opportunity for us to get back on the winning side of things and get those points that are much needed. And we're going to the playoffs. That's what we've been telling everybody in the locker room. We're going to the playoffs. It's just a matter of who and where. But we have to just get back to playing some good hockey for 60 minutes. And if we can take those baby steps to playing good hockey, wins come, and then you put yourself in a better position for the playoffs.
How do you approach this stretch now with 2 games this weekend and then that game at St. Cloud next Wednesday? Do you do anything differently, or do you just kind of approach it game by game and try to get through this weekend and then worry about Wednesday?
We talked about the schedule when we returned here on Saturday night, just reminding them, hey, we have a normal weekend coming up, 3 o'clock games, which is nice for that Wednesday turnaround. And just reminding them to get their homework done, get their rest, understand that we're going to be taking off again next Wednesday, and these are critical league games. So whatever they need to do to be ready and be sharp for 3 big games, they need to do that. From a practice standpoint, we make minor adjustments here and there to make sure that they're fresh, and fatigue will never be a factor there. So slight adjustments, but I think just the awareness, knowing what's coming, is important for college kids who live in the moment, what's right in front of them. So, yeah.
Was Catherine more of a hockey day thing? I mean, she played well on Saturday. Did she play well enough to kind of get back into a rotation? Or are you going back to Jess this weekend?
It wasn't just a hockey day thing. I thought it was the right move for our team at that point, and it just happened to be hockey day, and that was cool for her being a Minnesotan. I think she did show well, gave us a chance to win. Played a tight game, we didn't give her much run support there, just a 1-1 game and a 6-round shootout. So she showed that she's capable, and I definitely think she's in the mix.